Bonjour! My name is François le Foutre, the most fearsome fruit in all of France, Rear Admiral of the Raging Queen, and I am about to share with you a small piece of my thrilling gay pirate romance adventure novel called There's Seamen on the Poop Deck. This is the beginning of the second chapter. The Raging Queen had two openings, one in the front at the mouth of the ship, and a smaller opening at the rear. The rear entrance has always been my favorite. The passage was long and narrow with a smooth finish. I am not the largest of men, but even so, it was always a tight fit, which made it quite the experience. It was as if, as I entered her, she was squeezing me tight, willing me never to let go. I ran my hands along her, through the length of her corridor, fingering her delicately in a loving embrace. My Raging Queen moved up and down underneath me in undulating waves, almost shuddering under my touch. She creaked and moaned, screamed and gyrated, and though she was for now under the control of my seamen, it was I, only I, whose every order she followed. She submitted first to me, always to me, and I liked it that way. Yes, it was safe to say that every time I entered the Raging Queen, I fell in love with her all over again. I took a few steps and then paused a moment, never wanting to go in too far at once. Better to do it slowly, a little bit at a time. Build up the anticipation, tease her almost. She moaned louder, buckled harder, screamed with more fury. I had her right where I wanted her. I began to hear the mutterings of men above me. That might distract a lesser man, but to me it only made me want to go slower. I never shied away from being caught with my Raging Queen. Finally, with deeper penetration on every step, I reached the poop cabin. Most men are proud of their poops. Most men are proud of their poops. How large they are, how beautiful they are upon examination. Why, every Rear Admiral I meet, within minutes, he'd ask me if I want to see his poop. Of course I would accept. You never decline a man's invitation to show you his poop. And whether it was a clean poop or a messy poop, we'd spend the next several hours examining every inch of it, even playing games in it from time to time. Poker was a popular one. I've lost count of the number of times I've pokered in a man's poop. But while every man is proud of his poop, I happen to think that mine is especially delightful. It's larger than most, and I boasted that over 100 different kinds of woods had been inside of it. Dark woods and light woods, hard woods and soft woods, rough woods and smooth woods, strong woods and loose woods. There were traces of each all throughout my poop, most of which had been acquired during my various world travels. An Akan fertility doll, dark brown with a large round head, given to me by a long, thin Indian. A trunk of African rope that hung from the ceiling and seemed to impress all with its girth. I'd grown to love the darker, harder, rougher woods the best, so those were the ones I brought into my poop the most. But really, I'd put anything strong or unique in there if it would fit. My poop, of course, was where I took my meals, so all my food would end up there eventually. I brought all different kinds of nuts and meats and the odd vegetable when I was in the right mood. And all of these would combine to give it a wonderful, oaky aroma which filled my nostrils in a musky bouquet. Yes, I loved my poop, and I spent as much time in there as possible. The shelf just inside my poop contained books, so coming in this evening, I selected one at random and took it to my seat, a narrow object of porcelain, which the Chinese say is a seat for the gods. I sat proudly and opened the tome, resting it on my widened knees to carry its massive weight. Presently, there was a knock at the door. He was early.